What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame show powered by BetUS. Today, your Portland Trail Blazers get their second straight win as they control the Washington Wizards, beating them by a final score of 112-97. The Blazers get their 30th win on the season, a mark that we didn't know if they were going to be able to eclipse coming into the year, but 30 wins, man. 30 wins. Simon scores 30 points. As he has a good night, and the Wizards are clearly tanking. And man, it's weird going into games against teams that are tanking, and the Blazers not actually tanking. Toumani Camara missed tonight. Jeremy Grant missed the game as well. But the Blazers with Simons, Avdia, Klingon, Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp. This was one of the games where you really expected them to easily control going in, and that's what they did. It looked like it might be a battle early on. The Wizards actually got out to an 8-point lead pretty early in this one, but the Blazers brought it back by halftime, pulled away in the second half on a night that saw them play some solid defense against a team that didn't have much offensive talent out there on the floor. But also, the Blazers, they did some nice things in this game. We're going to talk about each player. We're also going to unveil our big boards in the second half of this stream. I'm looking forward to that because I have some massive changes in mind. Massive changes in mind. Changes that I did not expect myself to be making on my big board. So you want to make sure to catch the whole stream. Leave a like as well. Easiest way to support the channel. And Eric, what's up, man? How's it going? I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Chatland. How's Chatland doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hopefully you enjoyed this Blazer win. Oh, you're muted. Oh. Eric asked how Chatland is doing.
Wow. Can't even ask chat how they're doing.
I'm tanking, man. I'm inspired by the Wizards and the Raptors. I am tanking the stream. All right? Just respect it. Just respect it. Also, you probably want to fix your webcam. Unless you want your chin to be blocked by the graphic. Beautiful. And you're wearing green. I'm not wearing green. I couldn't find the hat that I talked about last night at Fred Meyer that I was going to wear for this one, the blinking St. Patrick's Day hat. I went.
Thought when he had a chance.
I know. I should have. I waited too long. I went and I looked and I was disappointed. So maybe next year. There's always next year. Right? There's always next year. We'll take a look at the play-in picture, and we'll take a look at the tanking picture, because right now the Blazers are kind of in between both pictures, so to say. We'll do some tankathon. We'll do all that good stuff. But, we're going to try and recap this game pretty fast. The Blazers came in as the favored team. They were 6-point favorites, according to BetUS. Took care of business. This was a game where Chris Middleton only played 11 minutes. Jordan Poole only played 11 minutes for the Wizards. Last night we were talking about how the Raptors limited Jakob Poeltl's and Scotty Barnes' minutes, but they at least played above 20 minutes. Jordan Poole and Chris Middleton barely play in this game. You have 35 minutes from A.J. Johnson, the Milwaukee Bucks first-round pick from this past draft. He had 8.7 rebounds, 4 assists. It was interesting to see him play NBA minutes. But yeah, you had Jalen Martin, who I barely recognize his name, play off the bench, 28 minutes. Like, this is a tanking team. Anthony Gill is still on the Wizards somehow. This was a tanking Wizards team. The Blazers took care of business. Had good moments from Duop Reith. Good moments from Matisse Thybulle, who was a plus 14 in 22 minutes coming back off that injury. 4 for 9. Had 5 steals and a block in 22 minutes in Thybulle-esque fashion. Donovan Klingon gets to start, 11 points, 13 boards for the big man. Avdia against his former team, 5 for 11, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, light work for him. And Chris Murray in 37 minutes filled up the stat sheet. Not really as far as points, but
your boy.
Yeah, my boy. 10 boards, 3 assists, 4 steals, 5 points, 2 for 8 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. So basically he can make two-handed dunks, and the rest is a work in progress. And Shaden Sharp, 6 for 14, 2 for 7 from 3, had 5 boards, couple of assists, couple of turnovers with his 16 points. That's what the stat sheet looked like for your Blazers. Eric, where do you want to start off with this recap, man? Because, I guess we got to start with the one guy whose stat line is in the bottom ticker, who we haven't said. It's Anthony Simons, 30 points, 2 assists, in recent Anthony-esque fashion, it was he's getting his own shot, and that's pretty much it. But he shot the ball really well. 30 points on 17 attempts, 10 for 17 from the field, 5 for 11 from 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. So we can start there, or we can start with someone else. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, since you mentioned him already, might as well get him out of the way. 10 of 17 shooting. Got on another Anthony Simons heater. I mean, outside of Banton's 5 assists in garbage time, no one really had a ton of assists. The ball was it seemed like it was a group effort, but only I guess they finished with 25 assists total, so you'll take that, right? But yeah, it wasn't a big assist night for anyone really outside of Banton. But yeah, I mean, he was good shooting the ball. 5-11 from 3, you'll take that, right? So yeah, just went on another heater. Even made a left-handed shot without a right hand available
that shot
to
was
him.
Insane, man.
Yeah, and then plus 21 also in 23 minutes, 30 points. Just very efficient, good, clean game from Anthony.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's providing an offensive punch that this team needs right now, especially considering Scoot struggled the past couple of games. You don't have Jeremy Grant, so you're missing his offensive contributions.
Yeah. Ayton too.
And Ayton's offensive contributions, right? So you're missing some offense, and Ant is providing it right now. He's been shooting the ball really, really well. Of course, Avdia has been phenomenal. You got to love the 3-game sample size on the broadcast. Stars with this stat line.
86% all-star chance, Tori. What do you think of that number?
It's always fun. It's always fun to look at the best 3-game sample size in an entire season and make some claims, man.
What were the parameters again? I forget.
I was just like,
if I remember. So what he's talking about is the broadcast. Tom Haberstroh shared a 3-game sample size, and he said players with those stats in a 3-game sample size, it's an 86% of them are all-stars. So that pretty much guarantees that. Write it in pen, right?
Yeah,
Sharpie. That Avdia will be an all-star. And he said
tattoo it on yourself, Eric.
Multiple-time all-stars. Denny A.S. That's what I'll put.
Yeah, Denny A.S. Where are you going to put it, though? Are you going to put it on your ASS?
Right on my forehead.
Nice.
It was 25 plus points per game, 15 plus rebounds per game, 5 plus assists per game.
Yeah, in a 3-game sample. Whoa, the stats got big. Okay, I'm fixing the stats. Here we go. You can take a look at these beautiful stats. These beautiful, beautiful stats. Yeah, it's always funny, like cherry picking parameters and then cherry picking the sample size, basically a small sample size, and then try to extrapolate a claim out of that. I always think that's a little funny. You see a lot of it with draft prospects, actually, where you'll like filter queries for prospects based on a bunch of different stats and be like, look, this player has this stats. The only other players that did all ended up becoming really good, right? And it's just all these weird parameters to paint a pretty picture. But
Zion Williamson is the only other player that has these.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, here we go with the stats. 14 offensive boards to 11 for the Blazers. Took care of the ball. Mm-hmm. They'd started to get a little sloppy lately. They did a much better job tonight not turning over the ball, and that's really the only way you could have given this Washington Wizards team a chance to win this game is if you turned it over and let them get out and run, just because of the lineup they were playing. So that was the one thing you did not want to do today. They didn't do it. Also won the fast break battle, 21-18, which is a good sign against a young, scrappy team like ourselves. Also got to the line 19 times, so being able to get more offensive boards, get to the line a little more, win the fast break battle, win the turnover battle. It was going to be really hard for Portland to lose this game, taking care of those areas, which they did, just because this is not a good shooting Washington Wizards team. They didn't have Koulibaly today, no Corey Kispert, and then basically didn't have Jordan Poole or Chris Middleton as well. Also missing Marcus Smart. They've actually been a little bit more competitive when Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton actually play. Of course, that was not the case tonight. So the Wizards fall to 15-52 on the season.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, the Blazers shot like crap too in this game, outside of a couple players. But yeah, really. The next player I want to talk about is man. This guy had an awesome game, Matisse Thybulle. He was all over the place, man. Showing us once again, Tori, the haters.
Vindicating himself.
Yeah, vindicating himself after huge games against Toronto and Washington, that we are idiots. And Thybulle was I mean, 4 for 9 shooting, that's to be expected. He's not a shooter. 1 for 5 from 3. Hit his first 3 and then missed his next 4. But man, on defense, he was all over the place against a inexperienced roster. Definitely steel baited a few times and it worked out for him. And but it's good to have him back if you're looking at trying to get this defense to take the next step. I think having players like him will help that. And if he's going to be on the roster moving forward, I do also think, playing with Klingon, someone who can protect the rim, which he hasn't had here in Portland so far, I think that'll be crucial to him because we know he's going to gamble and stuff. So having that guy back there that can protect the rim when he does miss, when he gambles, that'll help as well. But overall, outside of the shooting, I thought Thybulle was really good tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's making a defensive impact. He's doing what he does. He's flying around, being active, playing with energy, and just anticipating things. And especially against these tanking teams, his instincts win out a lot more often than not defensively. And he relies a lot on his instincts to make things happen defensively, right? He kind of just has an innate ability to read passes, get steals, play the passing lanes, just get his hands on balls, man. Getting deflections. That's what he does. So it really showed up these couple of games. Of course, he had 2 steals and a block in 6 minutes last game, and then today 5 steals and a block in 22 minutes. Also had 3 assists, 1 off an offensive rebound, which was cool to see. A nice little kick-out pass. All right, he's just making things happen, and it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch something new this season because, of course, we didn't get anything new at the deadline. So, this is our trade deadline acquisition.
It's as good as a trade.
To the play-in,
Remember that line.
Yeah, it's as good as a trade. So, but like all jokes aside, very good game from him.
Yeah. I mean, when he
impressive
came
to see him, like his first real minutes of the year, to see him play as energetic and active as he did, because normally it's hard to normally it takes a couple of games to get your win back.
Yeah, and he alluded to the fact that 22 minutes was too much after the game in his post-game interview. Seemed like he didn't want to play that much, but yeah, that was kind of funny. I mean, the game, it wasn't all his doing, but like when he came in, Blazers went on a huge run there and really broke this game open at that time.
We got my guy Mike McRae in here, and I always miss his comments. He plays in my rec league. He's always like, dude, I left a comment, you didn't see it, so this is me acknowledging it. But he said I'm the Donovan Klingon of the league. That
doesn't make any sense.
I prefer Denny Avdia. No, Mike knows. Mike, yeah.
No, I know, but that's like...
You don't like that comparison, huh?
Out of every single Blazer player, I think that's the worst comparison.
Maybe he just means my energy. You heard Klingon mic'd up today.
Yeah.
Just I think it's just.
Are you always making annoying sounds or something like that?
You thought his sounds were annoying?
A little bit.
Hater. Nah, he was.
No, it seemed like he was playing it up.
Nah, if that dude was on it, well, everybody does. You ever see the skits on YouTube where it's like when players are mic'd up? It's his first time being mic'd up, probably.
It seemed like he was a little too woo,
Well, I mean, but that's also kind of who he is. He's a very energetic guy, and we love it.
I know, but it showed him a few of the times. It seemed like he was manufacturing a little bit of that.
Is Torrey a bad free throw shooter? No, man. I'm an 80%er. 80%er for my miserable career. my miserable career. So, no.
Torrey would not feel any pressure on a free throw with 800,000 fans and him naked at the free throw line.
All right. Where are we? All right. I feel nervous that you even just put that out there into the universe right now. So, wild. Torrey's player comp is Liam McNeely. Yeah, sure. Anyway. Leave a like on the stream. Let's get to 100 likes. So, where were we?
We're wrapping up Thibault and moving on to your boy Chris Murray. I don't know.
My boy.
2 masterful dunks.
Do you want to say nice things about him before I say not as nice things about him?
Yeah, I mean, he had 4 steals right up there with Matisse as defender of the game. Had a few nice passes. Was shot 40% inside the arc.
I mean, that dunk on Sarr was nice. He actually
10 rebounds.
He actually got off the ground for that dunk on Sarr, man. But 10 boards. This is like your prototypical Chris Murray game. He gets 3 assists, 4 steals, rebounds the ball, does all the little things, and then just cannot shoot and is a sub 50% free throw shooter and almost airballed a free throw. This is just your prototypical Chris Murray. Eric, I need to stop thinking about his shooting every game so I can actually sit here on the postgame show and be like, yeah, he did some nice things, because it's he did do some nice things in this game. He did do a lot of nice things in this game. And I just struggle to get past the fact that he airballed a wide open corner 3. By a whole foot, man. That was baffling to me. So that was bad. He did some nice things in this game. That's my summary.
Do you want me to give you something, Torrey?
Yes. Help me out.
I mean, obviously 2 for 5 will dip this slightly, but he's shooting 58.5% from 2.
I did know it because they showed a graphic on it while he was shooting free throws, and at first I was like, this is his free throw percentage, and I was like, no, wait, that's way too negative, and I was like, oh yeah, it's his 2-point percentage, because that looks better.
Yeah.
That's literally what I thought when the graphic popped up when he was shooting a free throw. I was like, wait, why are they putting up a graphic for his free throw percentage? And I was like, oh, it's 2-point.
Almost 60% from 2, and you're trying to tell me this guy can't shoot? What the heck?
Why does he shoot better from 2 than he does from the free throw line?
I don't
By 18 percentage points.
Because it's probably
that doesn't even make mathematical sense, man.
Yeah.
That's just baffling to me. People list splits with one number, then a slash, and the first number is 2-point percentage, then 3-point percentage and a slash, and then free throw percentage. His looks like the non-American way of listing dates. Where the month and the day are switched compared to us, and it just looks really weird. That's what his shooting splits look like when you write them out that way.
Yeah.
Because it's if you're doing 2-point percentage, 58, 26, 40. Weird. I mean, there's some good things in this game today, though. Great 2-point shooter.
Andrew says, is it only 10 shot attempts from 2? It's 72. I just looked it up.
Is he taking more 2s or 3s?
He's taking more 3s than 2s.
Maybe he should take more. No, actually, I don't think he is.
It's 86 against 72. Yep. Oh, no, 123. Never mind. I was looking at makes.
Yeah.
86 to 123. So, quite a bit more. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's even more than we thought. 123, man, in 56 games. That's all almost or a little over 2 a game.
Every time he does something nice, it's dude. I don't know. Is this fair, chat? Every time he does something nice, I'm like, dang, I wish he could shoot because he does a lot of nice stuff, and it's just the missing link that would hold the chain together for him as a player. And instead, it's yeah, you know.
So Aromancer and some other people are bringing up that it's got to be like a mental thing with him because
Why?
I don't know. Just I mean, no one shoots 40% from three unless you're like a big or from free throw line unless you're like a big
Yeah,
can't shoot.
but I mean, a big part of shooting is mental, so it's like that's part of shooting the ball.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like you can't make a free throw. Like obviously there's something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just that's
And a lot of his
worrisome.
twos are layups and dunks. So
Like he's too nervous.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. That's possible. But like, yeah, I mean, it's part of shooting the ball. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah, everyone says he knocks down threes in practice. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm
We've
sure.
heard that so many times. It can't
I
be
mean,
true.
it could be true. If it's really just like he gets super nervous in games, he could be a sniper for all we know in practices. Where it's like he's one of the best players on the team because he's drilling all these threes and then doing all these little things he does well. And then in the games, he just can't make threes. So, I don't know.
Colt,
I don't know how you
Colt-
fix that, but it would be cool if they did.
Colt says, "Why can't any of our forwards shoot? Get a new shooting coach."
Yeah.
Excuse me. None of our forwards can shoot. Have you seen Jabari Walker?
Well, also, Tumani's shooting like
Yeah.
36% from three, and Denny's
I mean,
fine. Yeah.
what's Jabari up to?
But Jabari came into the league as somebody that we thought could shoot the ball and has been bad until just one recent hot stretch that is carrying his numbers because he hasn't played much this year.
Oh, it's for a full season though. 38.3%.
Yeah, I mean, it is for a full season, you know. It definitely looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. Scoot and Tamani improved their shots a lot. Yeah, Scoot improved his shot a lot, although past couple games he has not been shooting the ball well.
I still think this obviously isn't Chris's problem, but I think Jabari got like too big and
Yeah.
it kind of affected his range of motion on his shot. It just
Yeah.
and his lift, he doesn't get any lift on his shot anymore.
Yeah.
So
But like, why is Shaden still struggling the way he is, man? From three. I mean, this was such
so
a
casual about some of his shots, you know,
I
like
know.
it feels like he's open. He doesn't even like. He just kind of like me, and it's like he doesn't really like focus when he shoots. Like you know what I mean? Like
doesn't lock in.
yeah,
I mean, this was just your typical Shaden Sharp shooting game. 2 for 7 from three. Last game, 1 for 8. The game before that, 3 for 8. 1 for 4, 0 for 5, 2 for 7, 3 for 7. Right? He's right in between like 2 for 7 and 3 for 8. He's shooting on the month 23% on the month of March from three. 23%. Shea has to figure out how to make shots. He has to figure out how to make threes. I think there's some form things. I think he gets close to throwing the ball sometimes, like just too much movement forward, not enough arc at times. That was a problem that Anthony Simons had early in his career, and he became a better shooter once he started to get a little bit more arc. I think that's something that could benefit Shaden. But the thing that worries me too, Eric, is like his misses seem all over the place. It doesn't seem like he's missing, and I could be wrong. Like, I don't know if they have tracking data on this, but it doesn't seem like he's missing particularly one way. It just seems like his shot is just scattered all over the place, and he has to become a solid three-point shooter to become a star, in my opinion. Because right now it's like, you know, he had 16 points in this game. He made some things happen, but it feels like he's struggling to turn the corner on drives because he's been shooting the ball so poorly that defenders aren't really respecting it as much as they do when he's shooting a good three ball. Like, he shot 35.5% from three in February, right? And he had some big games, especially at the end of February. the thing is, those big games coincided with him making shots, 3 for 7 from 3, 4 for 6 from 3. The last two games had 36 and 25 points respectively. But he was getting downhill. And it's just, we've talked about it with Scoot, but I think it might be becoming a problem with Sharp right now just because of how poorly he's been shooting, where it's like teams will just live with him beating them with threes. You don't want to let him get into the paint and finish. So you play off the three a little bit, and he'll have a 2 for 7 game. It doesn't matter if he's open. Like, sometimes it's just like, it doesn't matter if he has a hand in his face or he has 20 feet of space. He's still going to go 2 for 7 or have that type of shooting performance. So if you're a defender, why would you? Why would you press up against him and get beat to the rim all game long? No, you're going to take away the drive. You're going to force him to shoot over you. That's the game plan on Sharp right now. And Sharp has to improve his three-point shot to fix that. If he can improve his three-point shot, then he's going to be able to get downhill a lot more easily because defenders are going to have to play up, right? He doesn't have the quickest first step already, so he has to get defenders leaning forward, biding on hesitation moves, right? Guard them tightly. It's a little easier to beat them because it's harder to beat somebody if they have time to react, time to slide in front. So that's just the biggest problem with Shea's game right now. I think that's the biggest problem with his consistency, Eric. We talked about his consistency problems coming into the year and that being a big talking point for him and something that he really needed to improve upon. But I think it's as simple as, sometimes he has days where he doesn't seem fully locked in mentally. But I think the biggest problem with his consistency, at least offensively, is the inconsistent three-point shot and then him not being able to get downhill and beat his defender off the dribble because they start playing off him a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Tori, we all know he's the next Kobe Bryant, and Kobe shot 32.9% for his career from three, so he's just becoming Kobe, right?
Something like that.
I think that's what it is.
Something like that.
He knows that Kobe wasn't like a lockdown shooter either, so he doesn't need to be, right?
Yeah, true. Mount Hood says, how would you know if someone's locked in, though? Ha, that's being in their head, eh? I mean, I said it seems like, right? I'm not making any definitive claim there. That's why I said it seems like. But, yeah, so I'm not acting like I would know. I'm saying it seems like there's some games where he's not locked in.
Yeah.
And he said, no, not you. That was to Arrow. Yeah, I mean, okay. Makes sense. But I could see people having that question, like, you don't know what's in his head. Like, that's why I said seems like. Just wanted to reiterate that. Alrighty. Sharp, do you want to say anything else on him?
No, I mean, overall, I thought he had a pretty good game. I thought he was active defensively. Yeah, I don't think it was a terrible game. Just like you said, just has to become a better shooter so he can open up those lanes a little more. He's not. It felt like he was getting to his spots a lot easier earlier in the season, and so I think you're right that the book is kind of out on him, that you want to deny him getting to those mid-range shots and to the rim, obviously, because he has become a much better finisher. But yeah, I don't think he's getting there enough.
Yeah. Let's talk about Scoot. So he goes 1 for 5 from 3 today. 3 out of the last 4 games, he's been 1 for 5 from 3, but he also has a 4 for 4 game in the middle of that. It feels like he's been in a slump, but I think this was going into the game. He was still shooting 35% from 3 on the month of March. 35% from 3 is a lot better than 23% from 3, but it does seem like he's going through a little bit of a slump here because the last 5 games, 3 1 for 5s, a 1 for 6 versus Detroit, and then that 4 for 4 game in the middle of it against New York where he was really good. He needs to find a way to be a little bit more efficient when his three-point shot isn't falling, because it seems like when he's making threes, he's also efficient inside the arc, but when he's missing threes, he's not as efficient, right? He's 4 for 9 inside the arc. The last 2 games in 61 minutes, he doesn't have a single free throw attempt after having 10 against New York. And it's just interesting how there's kind of 2 different versions of Scoot right now, which I guess should be expected. He's 21, right? He's young. He's not going to be fully consistent yet. But, he was 2 for 12 last game against Toronto. 1 for 5 from 3, was 1 for 7 inside the arc. But against New York, he went 4 for 4 from 3. He went 6 for 12 inside the arc and got to the line 10 times, right? The game before that was 1 for 5 from 3, was 4 for 8 inside the arc, only got to the line once. So it does seem like if you look at this isn't true for every single game, but it does feel like there's a slight correlation between when he's making threes, he's able to get to the rim a little bit more, able to make a few more shots at the rim. I don't really know what I want to say in terms of what the improvement point is on this. It's just continuing to hopefully improve three-point shooting-wise, but it's like average shooters are going to have stretches, right? 36% three-point shooters are going to have stretches where they don't shoot the three-ball well. The thing, there was games earlier in the year where maybe he didn't shoot a great three-ball, but he was really effective getting downhill. Lately, it just feels like that is tied to his three-point shot a little too much.
What I felt like in the first half, I felt like he was back to where he was being really sped up on his lay-ins, and he was like trying to, like he was going too fast, and he had a really nice reverse lane in the second half where he slowed down before he had a really nice move around the defender, got to the other side of the basket and slowed down and laid it in easy, nice and soft. But I feel like he in the first half was just going way too hard at the rim, lofting the ball way too hard. He had that one layup where he gets by the defender and just throws it off the backboard, doesn't even come close to going in. And that's kind of what he was doing last year when he wasn't slowing down or mixing the speed at all. He was just going one speed at the rim, and it's hard to slow down when you're going that fast and get touch on your shot. And we know he struggles a little bit with his touch and finishing. So I just think he needs to, because he was blowing by guys in the first half, getting to the rim. He was just kind of trying to force the ball into the hoop instead of shoot it, and I felt like he calmed down a little bit in the second half, but I feel like he's starting to go back to that a little bit, which is easily correctable. It's just when you're trying to fix your shot, like that's why it's so surprising he shot well as he did this season, because it's really hard to like do that and stay consistent with it throughout a whole 82 game season. Now, if you keep working on it for years, eventually it'll become normal and stuff. So like I think there was going to be some regression at some point back to like how he was. Just hope he can figure it out and learn not to rush his shot when he gets to the rim.
Yeah, for sure. Also, something that could be at play here is, and this applies to him and maybe Sharp as well, though Sharp played a lot of games his rookie year, but with young players, when it's their first time actually playing consistently through the grind of a full NBA season, at some point that starts to wear on you, and you've never Scoot, he missed a decent amount of time last year. So he's played a lot more this year, so it could be the grind of the season catching up to him for the first time where he's not used to or doesn't really know how to manage the toll that a full season of games takes on you. So that could be also part of what he's dealing with right now.
One other thing, I wish he would, we talked about this about Anthony for years. I wish he would try to pack it sometimes.
Yeah.
There was one of the plays, I think he might have actually made this one, but it seemed like he had a path to just go dunk it, and he tried to do some like weird finger roll thing.
Yeah, I think he did finish that one, yeah.
And it like kind of jammed into the rim, but I just want him to go. Like, why are you even risking shooting the ball? Like, why, if you have the path, like, why aren't you going and attacking the rim a little bit more, getting a little closer to the rim? He has the athleticism to do it on a straight line drive like that. So I just wish he would kind of try to pack it a little more.
Yeah, I agree. Because he did that a lot in the G League. I don't really know why he's stopped.
That might be with like conditioning. It's just like a lot harder in the NBA stamina wise and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely something he should try to improve moving forward.
Yep. I agree. All right, Eric, pick your next player. By the way, chat, we are going to do our big board reveals the second half of the stream, so stay tuned for that.
I mean, Denny played 27 minutes, had 15, 6 and 2. Didn't have to do a whole lot in this one. Glad he didn't get hurt against his former team like last time, but I thought he was fine. 3 for 7 from three. We'll definitely take that from him. And thought it was a decent game. Not obviously as eye popping as some of the other games he's had recently, but I will definitely take this in a win by 15.
Yep, fully agree. And then Uprise made some threes today. That was good to see.
Finally, yeah.
Hit back-to-back threes from the same spot, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, he had some rough moments when he tried to not shoot threes, but got blocked a couple times. But yeah, if he's hitting the three, he's an effective big man. If he's not, it's just kind of rough. Doesn't provide a whole lot of defense or rebounding or anything like that. So I don't know. I definitely felt like we outside of the 3-point shot falling tonight for him, it felt like we were a little undermanned at the center position when Klingman wasn't in the game tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to have a stretch five behind Klingman. It's something I think the Blazers should target long-term this offseason. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about who those players might be when we talk big boards, but I think it just provides a different change of pace and a different look to the offense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just hope they can do a little bit more than just stretch the floor,
Yeah, that's preferable. Brashear Fleming got recommended in chat as a guy the Blazers should go after. He's 6'9", but apparently has a 7'5" wingspan. So measurement wise, is he big enough to play the 5 in the NBA? Because he might have the standing reach to be able to vertically play that position, right? And he's a pretty good defender, pretty mobile. So if the Blazers are drafting at 10, honestly, that's not a bad guy to bring in because he's shooting a good 3-ball this year. It could help with the Blazers shooting as well. Could be somebody that plays behind or next to Klingman. So we'll see where we have him ranked, but that is a piece that could fit that. And then it's pretty much everyone.
Big play.
He does. He does look big playing. Did I miss someone? Are we good?
We didn't really talk about Klingman that much. What did you think of his game tonight?
I liked a couple of the finishes he had inside. Mm-hmm. So 1 for 4 from the free throw line is he has to be better there. Kind of has a weird hitch on his release. That also shows up when he shoots floaters.
Yeah.
So ironing that out, I think he has pretty good form. I think he's just ironing out that hitch somehow. Hopefully he can have a Scoot-esque form improvement.
Yeah, and he started out, I think he was 1 of 4, 1 of 5, and then finished a lot better in the second half. But yeah, man, he's been a beast on the offensive boards. And
7 offensive rebounds. Man.
Especially on a night where we miss a ton of shots once again. I mean, him cleaning up the glass on the offensive rebounds. And I never really get mad at someone for missing a putback in the lane if you're hustling to get rebounds too. So, the finishing can be an issue at times. Nice to see him play another 25 minutes tonight. Didn't get in foul trouble either. I thought his energy has been really good lately, especially on the glass, and something that we definitely needed.
Yeah, it's fun to see him play minutes too.
Yeah.
He played 25 minutes today. The last 3 games before this, he played at least 30 minutes. For all you people that say he's incapable, it's not possible for him to play 30 minutes in a basketball game. The last 3 games, 32 minutes, 34 minutes, 30 minutes. Tonight, 25 minutes. And he hasn't been dropping off. So that's not something I'm really going to worry too much about I think the biggest issue with him playing 30 minutes is the foul trouble he's been in, but he only had 1 foul tonight in 25 minutes. He only had 2 fouls last game in 30 minutes. I had 5 fouls the game before against New York, but played 34 minutes. Like, if you're going to have 5 fouls, I want him to be playing 34 minutes and picking up those fouls in that time compared to, having 5 fouls in 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
The game before that, 32 minutes, only had 3 fouls. So, a little bit of improvement there, which is really, really good. Really, really good to see. And then just, an absolute beast on the offensive glass. And the finishing problems, I don't think are, it's not good, but I don't think it's terrible. He is really good finishing if he can, dunk the ball, lob target. He's not getting as many lobs lately for some reason, right? That seems to be something that Scoot and him were connecting on more earlier in the season. But if you're struggling to make shots, but you're getting a ton of offensive rebounds, you're getting a ton of missed shots anyway, so it kind of neutralizes itself, right? So 7 offensive rebounds the last game, 7 offensive rebounds tonight, and he was 5 for 9 tonight. 5 for 9 and got 7 offensive boards. That's phenomenal. He can have a major impact on our offense if he's rebounding the ball off the offensive glass like that.
Yeah.
And I think he can truly become maybe the best offensive rebounder in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So he's looked like it the last couple of games.
We don't necessarily need it when Denny and Anthony and Shea and Scoot, when those guys are creating shots, we probably don't need this, but I still would like to see them. They do a lot of, he gets the ball and it's just like a dribble handoff. But it's always with the guy coming back towards, we hate, it's always the guy coming from the corner and he's always just handing the ball off. I would love to see him maybe fake that sometimes and have the guy curl all the way around and go to the hoop and him throw it over the top, or just try to find a way to get him to get kind of in the middle of the free throw line area and just throw some passes over the top of the defense, or have some back cuts or some cutters or something. Just maybe explore that a little bit in these remaining 13 games of the season.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Sorry, I was watching Sohan and Vanderbilt get into it.
Should we use the right term or the Gabe term?
We're not using the Gabe term, man. We are not saying that.
They got ejected then.
Yeah, that's the right word. Correct. His Suns won tonight. All right, you want to get into Tankathon and then we'll do big boards?
Let's do it.
Cool. We're trying to move the pace of streams along a little bit more, a little bit better. We had a shorter stream on Sunday, yesterday. I didn't want this to be a 2.5-hour stream like our normal big boards, so we can move on and talk about draft prospects, which is always fun. Always fun. First, we got to do Tankathon, though. The Blazers are... Sorry for the point. Wow, I didn't realize we fell to 11th.
Wow, okay.
We are 11th because Miami's lost 8 in a row. Wow.
Yep. That's what happens.
Chicago could be the 9 seed. Is Miami tanking? I haven't been paying attention. They've really lost 8 in a row. Well, the Blazers got a lot of good teams coming up, so that should fix itself. I don't like San Antonio being 8th. I don't like their odds being that good. So.
Yeah.
But, we were 8th, but you win 2 games and you go all the way to 11th.
Man, Chicago won tonight, too.
Chicago still has not accepted the tank.
No.
All right, let's see the Blazers in 11th, all right?
We won, so we've got to move up,
No.
right?
11th is too low for ethical tanking at this point. We're just going to be 11th. Atlanta's at 14 via Sacramento. Dallas at 13. At 12, we have Houston via Phoenix. At 11, we have your Portland Trailblazers. Got to be top 10 for the ethical tank to apply.
Yeah.
At 10, you got Chicago. At 9, you got Miami, which is crazy. At 8, you got San Antonio. At 7, you got Toronto. At 6, you got Washington moving down 4 spots. Wow. And at 5, you got Utah. So Washington with their tank today did not get rewarded. Toronto with their tank yesterday did not get rewarded. At 4, we got New Orleans. At 3, we got Brooklyn. At 2, we got Charlotte, which means the number 1 overall pick goes to the Philadelphia 76ers, who tanked the hell out of today. They were up 10 with a couple minutes left and found a way to lose.
30.
Yeah, they were up like 30. That was crazy tank job by the Sixers, man.
Did you see Quentin Grimes' stat line today, Tori?
No.
46 on 15 of 27 shooting. Got to the line 13 times. 13 rebounds, 4 assists. Yeah. Monster game from him.
What an awful trade for Dallas, man. I said it at the time. What the hell were they doing?
And they gave him their second round pick back, which is like a mid-30s right now. So 36.
For Caleb Martin?
Yeah. When you were trading.
Why can't we do those trades where we just trade a scrub role player and get somebody that can drop 46?
I don't know, dude.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and Bane, they lost too, but Bane went off tonight.
Yeah.
7 of 7 from 3, 44 points.
Justin Edwards looks like a legitimate role player too, which is cool.
Yeah, Bane had 44 on 26 shots too.
Oh, they have Chuma Okeke too playing for the Sixers, man?
Yeah.
Just going through their box score, it's just so many random players. Like they start O'Shea Brissett. They have Hood Schifino now. Former Remix legend Alex Reese off the bench.
Oh, that was the other guy. Did you see Obi Toppin's stat line tonight?
I saw he had like 30.
34 and 10, and the game-winning corner 3.
He had a game-winning corner 3.
Yeah, it was a crazy like it was like a ridiculous on the move at a bad angle. Yeah.
Screw the Timberwolves. Just doubled down on them. Screw them.
Yeah, we screwed that up.
Yeah. I wanted to ride your coattails.
Yeah.
And your coattails caught on fire. We don't like that. Anthony Edwards shot 20 free throw attempts today. 38 points on 24 shots. Yeah, pretty good efficiency, right? No, 9 for 24 from the field, 1 for 11 from 3, but 19 for 20 from the free throw line is insane. 20 free throw attempts. Alrighty. Time for big boards. Chat. If you guys want in a $20 bracket pool, message me on Twitter. DM me on Twitter. Message me on Discord. Message me anywhere. Let me know if you want in a $20 bracket pool that I run every year. That my mom won last year. You can lose to my mom in March Madness bracket picks if you want. It's a great honor. It's a great honor. She can take your money. Anyway. Almost at 100 likes, 94 likes. Hit that like button. We're going to get into our big boards. We're going to unveil the top 60. The top 60. We're going to do it 5 by 5. Or do you just want to do it top 10 and then do it 5 by 5?
Sure. Man.
Or you do the first 5, you do the first top 5, I'll do the second top 5, and then I'll do my 6 to 10.
Man. I was looking at some draft boards today, just trying to figure out if I'm missing anyone that I should look into more.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why the hell I keep seeing Eric Dixon showing up in the second rounds on mock drafts? If anyone drafts Eric Dixon, you're freaking stupid.
Why? He's averaging like 23 a game.
I know, but he's like, I don't know. He's one of those
Very
guys
old
who's like,
school, like doesn't translate at all. Yeah.
yeah, but he's
Yeah.
like undersized to play center, and he's gonna get worked at any other position, but in college
Sounds
it
like a
works.
typical Eric.
Yeah,
Just kidding. But yeah, no, I don't. I he's just the type of guy where like, oh, he's super productive. Let's just drop a 58th pick on him, and then is out of the league immediately. Yeah, I don't get it either.
yeah.
All right, who's your top
And he's
five?
like 48 years old.
Yeah, super old.
All right, my top five. It's basically the same, but I do have a new number five.
Same.
So I got Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, BJ Edgecombe, and Trey Johnson at five.
That's not a new number five.
Yeah, it is. I had Yaku Jonas at five last time.
Did you? Chat, did he?
And I
I
had,
swear you had Trey Johnson.
nope, I just did it earlier today.
Got
So.
you. Got you. Alrighty. My top five. Cooper Flagg 1, Dylan Harper 2, VJ Edgecombe 3, Ace Bailey 4, and at 5 I have Con Knipple. I am a believer now.
I don't think we're gonna get him at 10 or 11.
I don't think so either. So you want to wait to talk about him until you unveil him, or do you want to talk about him?
Sure.
I can talk about him now. You can talk about why you have
Okay.
him lower. Cooper Flagg went down with that ankle injury in the ACC tournament. Duke still won. Tyrese Proctor had a great ACC championship game, but Knipple looked great, scoring the ball, driving the ball. Had a game where he had like 28 points, 8 assists, was really impressed with some of his playmaking flashes. Also, I think his defense is a little bit better than people realize. Like, I don't think he's going to be like a big time stopper, but I think he can be solid in the NBA. Just like solid, won't make many mistakes, like just quick enough to be competitive on drives against, some quicker wings, and then has decent size, 6'6", like strong, that sort of thing. I'm really starting to feel like he has more creation than he's been able to show because he's playing on a stacked Duke team with a ton of creators. Sion James can create a little bit. Tyrese Proctor, of course, is going to create a lot. Caleb Foster earlier in the year when he was playing is going to, he's a point guard. They got guys that can create shots, so he's kind of been a shooter, attack closeouts type of guy. After Cooper Flagg went down, I was super impressed with some of the plays that he was making. And I just think as a high floor 6'6", 6'7" guy that can also make plays off the dribble a little bit, pass a little bit, but then also has some, I think, creation upside that maybe he hasn't been able to show yet, which we saw last year with Jared McCain at Duke, right? I'm starting to really, really like him, and if the Blazers don't move up, I would be hoping he falls because I think he's a really good fit in Portland.
Yep.
Alrighty. Ready for my 6 to 10?
Yes.
All right. At 6, I have Kaman Maluach. At 7, I have Trey Johnson. At 8, I have Kasparis Yakuchonis. At 9, I have Asa Newell. At 10, I have Neek Clifford.
Did you say Derek Queen?
Nope.
So I was right last night?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, who's your 6 to 10, and then we can talk about it.
All right. I have Asian Newell 6, Kasparis Yakuchonis 7, Jeremiah Fears 8, Con Knipple 9,
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Derek Queen 10.
Cool.
Yeah, so with Knipple, same thing you said. I've been waiting all year for him to show something a little more. and he's definitely shown that the last few games. Hard to ignore what
Yeah.
he's been doing. Yeah. So
Yep. Yep. Cool. All right. Who do we want to talk about? Questions you have for me? Maybe I'll ask you if I have any questions.
can
But
you just say your 6 through 10 again, real quick?
yeah, did you even hear my 10?
No, I did. I did. I just could you just go through them again?
6, I have Kaman Malawach. 7, I have Trey Johnson. 8, I have Kasparis Yakuchonis. 9, I have Asa Newell. 10, I have Neat Clifford.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously the production is there with Neat Clifford. Why do you have him as high as 10 right now?
Gives me Jalen Williams, Santa Clara vibes.
Mhm.
Just super productive, but in like playmaking, making plays for others, attacking off the dribble, shooting the three ball. And is also a really good defender, solid rebounder, like really good in a lot of areas, man. But Colorado State's been playing great. They went on a tear through the Mountain West tournament, and watching him play, I know it's not necessarily the best competition, but it's not like a weak mid-major conference. They got multiple teams into the tournament. Just watching the way he created, some of the passes he made for others, some of the moves he made, I just feel like he's going to slip because he's a 5-year guy. But if there's, almost every draft, there's always a guy that has more upside than people realize, where people discount it because of his age. It was that way with Jalen Williams. Neat Clifford is a couple more years older, but man, I was impressed with his ability to create, and I was impressed with his athleticism, the way he moved, all that stuff. And I feel like Neat Clifford is going to be that guy where if he falls to the back half of the first round, he could be that steal that fell because of his age, where it was like, yeah, he's really productive in college and he can read the floor and really make plays for others and handle the ball and 3-level scoring ability and all these traits where I think they're all going to translate pretty well to the league, where bare minimum he's going to be a really, really good role player. But I think he has some sneaky upside. So I got a good gut feeling with him.
All right, interesting.
Yeah. Yep. So I moved Malawach up to 6 just because I think he has a super high floor and I just love the energy he plays with, and I do think like the role that he plays, he could end up being like a fringe all-star level contributor, kind of like a Jared Allen, but then also his shooting form looks decent. If he can stretch it out to 3, then he becomes maybe like a borderline top 5 center as a ceiling. I like that. I'm worried about Trey Johnson's like first step strength, like his inability to get to the rim. That's my hang up with him. He's a really good shooter, but I'm a little worried about his upside just with how he lacks getting to the rim. And then Yakuchonis has been struggling lately, and I've kind of cooled off on him because he just hasn't been playing as well. So it was easier to buy into his upside when he was really, really producing. Lately, Illinois has gotten destroyed in 3 out of 4 games where they looked awful, and his plays dropped a bit. So,
Yeah, tough to tell whether that's just because we got kind of spoiled this year with Cooper Flag and stuff, and now Knipple coming on. Some of these guys we talked about, Dylan Harper, Edge comes and playing great. Trey Johnson's had a monster year. Like, there hasn't been like, usually freshmen, it's hard to like carry a team or do things like that, and so I still feel like Yakuchonis showed enough to keep him in the top 10, and that's why I still have him at 7. But yeah, he's definitely been disappointing lately.
yeah. Alrighty, and your 6 through 10, can you say them again?
Had Asia Newell 6. Just really like his mobility. Even though he's right around 30% 3-point shooting, I feel like he's got a really smooth shot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to get better, and I like his mobility at his size. I feel like he's going to be good defensively, and just like his energy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I have
then
him at 9 for those reasons as well.
And then I have Jokic at 7. We just talked about him. 8, I have Jeremiah Fears. I've been kind of like questioning myself on him a few weeks ago, but he's been back to being really good towards the end of the season
Yeah.
and showing why we thought so highly of him for a
Yeah.
while there at the middle of the season. So he's definitely gotten back into my good graces there. And then Knipple, we already talked about why I moved him up. And then Queen, he had that monster 30-point game. I have him at 10. Still worried about his position in the NBA. Otherwise, I'd probably have him a little higher.
I'm a little worried about his motor.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's skilled, but that was the one thing that spooked me because he was very productive in their last game, right? The game they lost to Michigan. He's very productive and stat wise looked like he had a phenomenal game. But there's just times I was watching that game where it was like, all right, yeah, he's very gifted offensively, but he's a little undersized for the center position, and that's where his skill set has to play in order for it to be like truly unique, right? But if you're an undersized center, you got to have a motor. Like you gotta be able to like. You don't even necessarily have to be super athletic, right? But you just got to be willing to be physical on the boards and like really scrap and go after rebounds. And he's had some good rebounding games, but he struggled on the boards in that game. And then defensively, there was just some times where it was like, man, is this dude even giving full effort? I know he carries a lot of the offense, but there's just times where I didn't really like his effort defensively. So it's like, if you're going to play the center position, you're already undersized. You can't have motor questions or, like those issues because he's not the best athlete defensively. I was willing to overlook it as long as, he just competes. But that's kind of what spooked me, actually. That game actually spooked me a little bit more on him,
Yeah.
which is funny because he was so productive offensively.
Dude, I felt the same way because like he got like what 3 rebounds that game.
Yeah.
I don't think he had an assist that game.
Yeah.
So like he had been doing an okay job of doing some of the little things that I mean I feel like he's a better passer than to get 0 assists in that kind of game. But yeah, it was a little concerning that he wasn't doing much else other than scoring in that game.
Yeah, and you guys know me. I don't like a player who doesn't compete, doesn't play with a motor, that sort of thing. So, like when I started watching him, of course, just wowed by the stuff he can do offensively. Now we're at the point where it's like, all right, what else? I'm not really impressed, and I think it's going to be harder for him to actually be a positive producer at the center position, even with some of the things he can do offensively, unless his offense pops to like the best case outcome, or he plays with more of a motor defensively and is willing to be a little bit more physical and take that end of the floor, I think, a little bit more seriously, because there's just a couple times when I've watched him lately where he just seems disinterested on the defensive end of the floor, which I do not like out of a big man. So that's what caused him to slip for me. So he's in my next 5, but like there's players I like more than him in the top 10 for sure. Who's your next 5, Eric?
All right, my next 5, I have Malwalk at 11, Colin Murray Boyles 12, Rasheer Fleming 13, Cam Jones 14, Yegor Demon 15.
Oh, you moved Colin Murray Boyles up, huh?
He's been right in that range for me.
Has he? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I did move him up, but he's not my next 5. My next 5 is at 11, I have Jace Richardson. At 12, I have Jeremiah Fears. At 13, I have Derek Queen. At 14, I have Hugo Gonzalez. At 15, I have Rasheer Fleming.
All right.
So Fears, yeah, I like the way he's been playing lately. Still not sold on his game translating necessarily to like an all-star level in the league. I just think, he's kind of undersized shooting guard, point guard with he can make passes, like he can pass the ball, but decision making at times has just been really, really rough this year. So something he can learn, and he probably will at the NBA level. It's just an area of concern for me, which is why I don't have him in the top 10. And the 3-point shot, 27% from three. Like, he's going to have to be able to shoot the three. So there's just some concerns with him. He has a lot of good traits offensively, though. Really like the way he moves, creativity, shiftiness. Like, he gets downhill, gets to the rim, competitive. Has a lot of good traits. Just definitely has some red flags. So I think 12 is a good spot for him. We talked about Derek Queen White at 13. Who do you want to talk about? Malawat, you have him at 11. I have him at 6.
Yeah, dude. This might be completely unfair to him, but I feel like he's going to break like every time I watch him play. Like, I don't know. It just seems like he's like one bad play away from being injured. Like, I know that's not fair, but
I think
like,
that's how every 7-2 big looks like.
no,
Though.
I know, but he's so awkward sometimes. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's great around the rim. Feel like he does have shooting potential, like you mentioned. Obviously, good rim protector, all that kind of stuff at that size. And so, yeah, just another massive human being, like similar to Klingon, kind of. But yeah, I wonder if he could maybe develop some, back to the basket, post type moves, stuff like that. But as of right now, just awesome lob threat, all that kind of stuff. I think he's going to be a good pick for someone in this range.
I feel like he's a lock to be a top 10 player out of this draft. Like, almost a lock.
Yeah.
One of the highest floor players. And then remind me of your 12 through 15.
Colin Murray Boyles.
Boyles, we'll talk about him in a sec. Cam Jones, we'll talk about in a sec.
Yeah. Rasheer Fleming, we both had.
Where'd you have him? 14?
I have him 13.
13,
Just, I don't think he's going to be a star player because I don't see much creation from him.
Yeah.
But everything else, like the 3-point shot for his size, awesome. His defensive presence, awesome. Just, he looks massive. He looks like a center on the court, even though he's not a center. And but like it always seems like he's a center when you watch him on defense. And so like a wing that can play like that and be like maybe an elite secondary rim protector / help defender at this level, and is pretty good on the ball as well. I just really like him as a 3-and-D prospect, and those are very valuable in the NBA, as we all know. So I think, late lottery for him, some team is going to be very happy. I also think, if we're at 11, I wouldn't be upset with taking a guy like that at 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be a good fit long term. I also wouldn't hate like a Neat Clifford at 11 either. I think he would fit in very well on this team and would be a very fun player to go out and get. Some of these older prospects that can shoot and play some defense, I think, are more appealing than normal, just because our pick has slipped to the point where it's like any upside you go after is just going to be a big long shot. And maybe it's better to just get somebody you know is going to be good, somebody that's going to be able to shoot the ball and fit into your core. You're probably not going to get your star at 11, right? You still obviously want to draft somebody with upside. That's why I like Neat Clifford a lot in that range, because I think he has some sneaky upside. But you're probably going to have a lot more higher chance of success if you're the Blazers drafting for somebody that you know is going to fit in, is going to have a role starting off, provides an area of need, and then just trying to figure out your star situation some other way. But yeah, and then you had 14, 15 was who again?
I had Cam Jones at 14 and Jaeger Demon.
Got you. Okay. All right. So my 16 to 20. At 16, I have Colin Murray Boyles. At 17, I have Cam Jones. At 18, I have LeBaron Philon. At 19, I have Liam McNeely. At 20, I have Jaeger Demon.
All right. My 16 through 20. lost my place here. I have Liam McNeely 16, Boogie Flan 17, Carter Bryant 18, Hugo Gonzalez 19, Nolan Traore 20.
Alrighty. So I have Colin Murray Boyles. I think defensively he's going to be a really, really impactful player. Offensively has translatability questions, but can do some nice things. He's just maybe an undersized 5. If he can learn how to shoot, he could be a bit, maybe a bit Draymond-ish without the craziness, just because he has some good passing feel that you can maybe tap into, and has really good defensive upside as a 6'7" power forward. So it's just an interesting comp that I think would maybe be like, I don't think he's going to necessarily become as good as Draymond, but I think with the right pieces around him could be a really good connective piece and hopefully can become a shooter and defensively will provide some value. Cam Jones, I have a 17. I have slipping, not because of him, just because of other guys I have started to like more. I still think he, in the right situation, could pop. And I think he's going to be a solid bench scorer at minimum.
Yeah.
McNeely, I have a 19. You had at 16?
17, yeah.
17? Yeah. Thoughts on him?
All right, no, I had him 16.
He's just not shooting the 3 ball well. He's 33%.
Yeah, so before Knippel's breakout here, no, not necessarily breakout, but like, his big performances without Cooper, I was starting to like McNeely more because I felt like he just had a lot better feel for the game. I saw him make some really good off the dribble passes and stuff like that. But like, man, he just can't hit shots sometimes, and his percentages are not good. So like, it's like, man, if you could just make some of these shots, I'd probably have him a lot higher or closer to that 10 range. But just doesn't have the production shooting wise to move him higher than this.
Yeah. Fully agree. Yegor Demonite at 20, you had at 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shot's going to be key for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know if he can be a point guard. And if he's not a point guard, is like his best case scenario is probably being like a 6'9" primary creator, point guard, but there's just a lot of work to do there with his handle and shooting ability and that sort of stuff. And I'm just wondering, like, all right, if he's not that and he's playing more off the ball, he's probably an issue. He does some nice things defensively, but I don't necessarily fully believe he's going to be a good NBA defender.
Yeah.
So there's just so many question marks, but I mean, he's 6'9" and has great passing feel. He's just a bit turnover prone with the struggles from 3, and only a 67% free throw shooter too. So it's not like you can bank on that and say like, yeah, he's going to improve. So he really struggled in the Big 12 tournament against good competition. They beat Iowa State, but he had 3 points in 20 minutes, was 1 for 4. And then against Houston, he was 2 for 9. And of course, Houston being a very physical team, it's like, I'm not surprised he struggled. He had 5 turnovers, 4 assists, 6 points, 2 for 9. And that's what he's going to see in the NBA, man. So he scares me.
BYU's almost started winning without him, which is very Someone in chat mentioned this real quick. St. Joseph's plays UAB in the NIT. I didn't see that. So
that'll be a good game to watch for Lendeborg and
Yoxel versus Fleming.
Yeah. Good scouting game there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Anybody else in your top 20 you want to talk about?
Well, I still really like Carter Bryant. Boogie, I mean, it's kind of tough because he hasn't played
Yeah.
in a while. But like, yeah. Um, Terraria still still believe in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still holding out hope in him. Um, but yeah, that's my top. I don't really need to go in depth on
Yeah.
any of this. Yeah,
Yeah. LeBaron Philon has had some really impressive moments lately, so I've bumped him up. I just think he has some good traits like his competitiveness. I think he could be a problem defensively. He's 30% from three, 75% from the free throw line. I think he'll be able to be an okay shooter, and just at 6'4", being able to defend, being able to make some plays for others. He's not a pure point, but I think can be like one of those undersized two guards or combo guards that can play point guard in a pinch, that can make some plays for others, play some defense, and hopefully knock down some shots. So he
yeah.
struggled against Florida, but he had 21 against Kentucky and had a stretch of good games there for Alabama. So he's going to be a player to watch in the tournament for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then who went first last? Was it me or was it you?
I don't remember. You can go.
No, it was me. So you go. You go first.
Okay. All right, 21. I have Noah Sengue. 22. My guy Bennett Sturts. 23. Yoxel Lendeborg. 24. Danny Wolf. 25. Jace Richardson.
At 21, I have Noah Sangue. At 22, I have my guy Alex Condon. At 23, I have Danny Wolf. At 24, I have my guy Magoon Gwath. And at 25, I have Carter Bryant.
All right. Why is Carter falling a little bit for a reason or?
Not particularly. I just like other guys are rising. Like this is the time of year where other guys are
Yeah, yeah.
rising. Also, I was hoping he'd get a little bit more of a role by this point. Earlier in the season, it's like okay, at some point they'll start playing him more. He is playing 20 to 24 minutes a game right now, but yeah, it's not really me souring on him. I still like his upside. It's
Hmm.
just I had Guath above him, right? I moved Condon above him because I've really liked Condon all year. I was early on him before he started getting like serious draft buzz, and he's
Hmm.
been super productive lately. And I love Florida. So moving him up was pretty natural. And then I think Knipple I bumped above him. Philon has had some good moments lately. I bumped above him. So it's just like more proven commodities. I think the draft, like back end of the first round, is phenomenal though. I
Yeah.
think it's phenomenal. So
And also if we had a pick here.
yeah, I wish we did because you could get. I feel like we'd get somebody that would be a legitimate part of our core if we could draft in this range. So hopefully we find a way.
Yeah. So for me, Yoxel just I mean that game was just awesome the other day and he's been putting up some great games. Just intriguing size and the ability to score on different levels, things like that. Danny Wolf, just a unique big man who can do some different things and kind of, um, I don't know, run a little bit of offense through him and stuff like that. So, yep. I keep going back and forth on whether to put Jace higher or not. I know you put him higher, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do like him a lot. It doesn't seem like I do at 25, but like, yeah, I just like other guys more.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Both had Danny Wolf. I mean, we've talked about him a lot. Nothing new to say there. I talked about Magoon Gwath and how I like him on our last big board. I just think upside. He's just been hurt, so hasn't been playing. San Diego State plays in the first four. I don't know what his status is for that game. But 7 foot, shot blocker, kind of moves like a wing, can put the ball on the floor, make threes. Is intriguing. And then Condon, man. I mean, I don't see how this dude isn't productive in the league with his abilities. Like he's a good mover. He's 6'11". He's not necessarily like a NBA level rim protector, but I think he can just be a solid positional defender. Play some 4, some 5. he's shooting 33% from three. I think there's going to be some growth there. Like he'll end up being a solid 3-point shooter in the league, and he has a good passing feel. I feel like they could tap into it a little bit more. They just got a lot of guards that can create for themselves. And then I just like the way he pursues rebounds out of his area. It's an impressive trait of his. He's just a skilled player. So, like, honestly, where I was looking at a landing spot for him in the draft is Boston at the end of the first round. At some point, they're going to have to move on from Al Horford. And I feel like Condon could provide some of the same skills long term as maybe an Al Horford, make threes, make the right pass, put the ball on the floor a little bit, like just be all around solid.
Yeah, for sure.
So, alrighty. Anybody else in your range you want to talk about?
No, we can move on.
All right. At 26, I have Maxime Reynaud. At 27, I have Yaxel Lendeborg. At 28, I have Noah Penda. At 29, I have Will Riley. At 30, I have Nolan Traore. Chedko says a better Zach Collins. That's actually a decent comp for Condon. But yeah, hopefully better. All right, who's your 26 to 30?
All right, 26 through 30. I have Nick Clifford at 26, Joan Behringer at 27, LeBaron Philon at 28, Ben Seraph 29, and Maxime Reynaud at 30.
Nice. So we both had Reynaud there. 7'1", moves well for a 7'1" guy, and can make some threes, can pass a bit, is an intriguing big. You got a lot of intriguing skilled bigs at the back end of the first round. Is there anything you want to add there?
No, just has one other guy who has a intriguing skill set for 7'1".
Yep. Lendeborg, I just think he's going to be a good role player in the league. I don't know if he has upside beyond that, but I think he has one of the highest floors at this point in the draft, and on the right team could be a 8th, 9th man next year on a decent team, which is pretty good for a rookie at this point in the draft. So just skilled, high feel, rebounds well, super competitive. The shot is going to be the big swing thing for him, the 3-point shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Who else? Who do you want to touch upon?
The more I see of Behringer, the more I want to move him up. There's some buzz that he's going to move into the lottery at some point.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know. I don't really see it.
But Philon, agreed with everything that you said about him earlier. Seraph just, I'm still, at this point, I would be gambling on his size and just that he figures out his shooting a little bit, and just another big body that has some decent basketball IQ, passing wise and stuff like that. So yeah.
Gotcha. Noah Penda we can get to. When you say Will Riley, you have Will Riley on your board still?
Yeah.
Okay, we can get to him when you get to him. All right, who's your 31 through 35?
All right, 31, I have Andrej Stojakovic. 32, Thomas Sorber. 33, Miles Bird. 34, Isaiah Evans. 35, Xavier Lee.
Who'd you have at 32?
Thomas Sorber.
Got you. Okay. At 31, I have Boogie Fland. At 32, I have Isaiah Evans. At 33, I have Sion James. At 34, I have RJ Luis. At 35, I have Sergio De La Reyna.
All right.
Alrighty, where do we start? I guess I'll just start with my Sion James love, man. I just think he's going to be a solid role player. He's shooting 42% from three right now. Doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but the 82% free throw shooter, 42% from three. He's averaging 3 assists per game in 25 minutes, right? Can pass the ball a bit, can handle the ball a bit, 6'6". I think he can be solid defensively. He's just a really good glue guy. And I think the role he's played for Duke is very similar to the role that he could play in the NBA. And I just think he does a lot of things well, and I don't think he necessarily has to have all of it translate to be a solid role player. So I just think he's being slept on a little bit right now.
Yeah, fair.
Alrighty. Is that Evans? His shooting is just
Yeah, it's insane.
legit. Like it's just a
Yeah.
legit trait. And he's
Mhm.
I don't know. I haven't been noticing him as much defensively when I watch Duke, which is a
Yeah.
good thing because I was noticing him for a lot of bad reasons earlier in
Mhm.
the season. So, Boogie Fland, it's just with watching other players and really liking other players and him being hurt, it's tough for him to remain in my top 30.
Yeah.
RJ Luis, man, if he can, he's somebody that I'm starting to really like. Where if he can make threes, I don't think his form is that terrible. He just struggles shooting threes. His slashing ability and just feel offensively as a scorer is intriguing at this point in the draft. He's playing for St. John's, really good team. The question is just can he make threes or not? He might go back to St. John's. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna get a bag to go back, but he's averaging 18 points per game, 7 boards, couple of assists. He's 32% from 3, which is a little better than it was, I think, earlier in the year. But just, I could see him being somebody that is able to get a shot off in the league and score and just being like a microwave scorer off a bench. So I like him.
Yeah, I haven't really been that intrigued by him when I've watched St. John's play. Seems like he'll get pushed around a lot. He needs to add some strength, I think, for the next level. And then yeah, I would like to see him shoot a little bit better if he's going to be take advantage of his sizes at a guard position.
Yeah, I mean he's what 6'7".
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what it's listed at. Who knows what he'll
Yeah, I
actually.
mean he looks pretty tall. It's
Yeah.
I think he has some good traits that are hard to teach. Whereas like some this of the stuff you listed on is some of the stuff that can be developed.
Mhm.
So he's a project, I think. Even though he's
Yeah.
been a 3-year college player, he's somebody that you probably would have to wait on for a couple years, but could be somebody that is I don't know, like I don't know why, but maybe like a Kelly Oubre-ish type is a optimistic outcome for him.
Yeah.
Sergio De La Rey, I still have at 35. I'm still intrigued by him. There's nothing new there. All right, who do you want to talk about in that range?
Um, I mean, Miles Bird, just I think in this range is a good gamble. Sorber, I still think at this range also is worth taking a shot on. Stojakovic I just like. I mean, his shooting splits haven't been great towards the second half of the season, but I like his jump and creation and just the way he moves and stuff. I think he has another gear he could get to on a team with like better players around him where he's not having to do so much. And then Xavier Lee just, uh, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be a star, but like he has those like it qualities, just like
Yeah,
makes big plays and stuff like that. I like the way he shoots a lot of like tough threes, deep threes, things like
yeah,
that, can pass the ball and stuff. So just like him as kind of a maybe not a starting point guard in the NBA, but definitely someone who could be your third guard or something.
yep, agreed. Alrighty. Uh, all right, my 36 through 40. I got some of the same guys. 36, I have Joan Behringer. 37, I have Adu Thiero. 38, I have Miles Bird. 39, I have Andrej Stojakovic. 40, I have Walter Clayton Jr.
All right, mine. I have Will Riley 36, Noah Penda 37, Ian Jackson 38, Hunter Salas 39, and Sergio De La Rey 40.
Nice. All right. Who you want to touch upon, especially if I've already said him?
What do you like about Penda?
Oh, I just think he's going to be a really good defender
Yeah,
and be able to make shots at 6'8". So, yeah, really, I think he's destined to be a 3-and-D guy, like a
yeah.
good role playing 3-and-D guy.
So who's the guy the Knicks drafted last year? Why am I blanking on his name?
Kevin McCullough,
No, no, no. The French guy they drafted.
Ariel Huckporty.
No, he's not
He's
French.
German.
Um, they drafted the French wing. Chad.
Pacome Dadier. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Dottie. There you
I was
go.
thinking
Thank you.
second round picks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Pacome. Yeah, kind of reminds me of him a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's just a little bigger, a little thicker, a little less fluid, but like better defensively.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe better defensively, but Dottie is pretty good defensively too.
Yeah, that's funny. Behringer, I mean, he moves well. He's listed at what 6'10", undersized 5, without any like offensive traits that you can bank on. Is I don't understand how that's lottery. Um, I like the way he moves, but it could be good defensive big, but I don't know if that's enough for me to put him in my first round, let alone lottery.
Yeah.
So we have him pretty similarly ranked. I have him early second. You have him late first. But of course, like there's probably I could do more research on him. So,
Mhm.
um, alrighty. Who else? Let's see here. Stojakovic, man. I mean, had a really good game against Stanford in the ACC tournament. I
Yeah.
think he had like 37. Just his ability with his size, mid-range shooting ability, three-point shooting ability. Like he's just a gamer, man. So I think just a 6'7" wing that can maybe be a 3-level scorer and make some shots is intriguing in the second round.
Yeah.
Miles Bird, he's just not shooting the ball well enough, and
Mhm.
has some good defensive traits, but is a little skinny. You know what I mean? Like I don't see him doing a whole lot offensively at the next level right now, and defensively, I think he might get bullied a little bit unless he's able to put on some strength. So that's my concerns with him right now.
Mhm.
Um, who did we not touch on that you had?
I had Ian Jackson. Didn't do like anything
Yeah.
in the last few games, but yeah, you know, yeah, averaged like 12 points for the season as a freshman. Shot almost 40% from three. Um, Measurables will be kind of important if he's like more like 6'1" than 6'4". It maybe drop him a little bit, but I don't know. Just he's got upside. It was thought how they thought of coming in this season. It seems like he had a bad year, but I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I think he still has some potential as a point guard slash shooter.
Yep. Alrighty. Let's hear your 41 through 45.
All right. At 41 and 42, I have I finally remembered to add the second one, but I have the Visich brothers.
Gotcha.
And then 43, I have Johan Grunlow, 44, Magoon Guath, and 45, Tahad Pettiford.
Alrighty.
I guess I have four centers here in a row.
Yeah, this is your center tier. At 41, I have Xavier Lee. At 42, I have JT Toppin at 43, I have Thomas Sorber. At 44, I have Bennett Sturts. And at 45, I have Jameer Watkins.
Nice. Who'd you say at 42 and 43?
JT Toppin, Thomas Sorber.
Okay.
Just bigs with maybe theoretical shooting potential, but translatability questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a reason they're grouped
that's
together.
why I have the Visage there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorber ended up missing the rest of the season, so unfortunately didn't get to see more there. Might make sense for him to transfer somewhere better than Georgetown and go back for another year. Xavier Lee, I think, is worth a chance on in the mid-second for all the reasons that you stated earlier. Bennett Sturts, I have at 44. Skilled shooter. Just athleticism is a question. It'll be really interesting to see him play against Missouri in the NCAA tournament. I think that's a good test. If he dominates them, because they're pretty athletic, if he's able to make it work against them, that gives me a little bit more hope that he can maybe do a little bit more in the NBA. So I think that's a good test for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Jameer Watkins, 45. I just think he's going to be somebody that defends and can make enough threes and make the right play and maybe be a, Dorian Finney-Smith wasn't drafted, for example. Like, I think that might be kind of his path to being a role player in the league. So he's just definitely old. He might be like 24 on draft night, so that's why I feel like he probably will go undrafted, and some team will pick him up on a two-way, and he'll be solid enough. He'll get signed to a main roster and then go from there.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I don't have him, let's see, I don't think I have him in my top 60, but like he's one of those guys that definitely give a call.
Yeah.
If he goes undrafted, yep.
And then, all right, who did you want to talk about?
I mean, we don't really have to spend much time on the Visage twins. Just big, or brothers. They're just big. Both have some shooting ability. Both can protect the rim a little bit. Just at this range, I think those type of guys are fine to take. Guath, I mean, you're the Guath fanboy, so I defer to you on that one.
Yeah.
Pettiford, much like I talked about Ian Jackson, didn't really play a ton of minutes, but still managed to average 11 points per game. Got his 3-point percentage up to 37.6%. Averages almost 3 assists in 22 minutes, even though he's not like primary ball handler a lot of times. So, just like what I've seen throughout the season from him, but size might be an issue there.
Yeah.
Why he's not higher.
Gotcha. Alrighty. 46 to 50. I have Cedric Coward at 46. At 47, I have JoJo Tugler. At 48, I have Ben Serif. At 49, I have Bogoljub Markovic. And at 50, I have Tahad Pettiford.
All right. I have Tyrese Proctor 46, Janai Broom 47. I have Alex Condon 48. Walter Clayton 49. Walter Clayton Jr., sorry. And then I have Bogoljub as well at 50.
Nice. You want to start with yours, and then I'll talk about players on mine.
Yeah, Bogoljub, just intriguing shooting ability at that size. I think definitely worth a pick here in the second round from someone. Clayton, Florida's been really good. You mentioned Alex Condon already. Clayton can score in, and obviously they won the SEC tournament. Broom, filler big here in the second round. Tyrese Proctor, I mean, I still believe in him. So, yeah, really nice game the other day. Still feel like if he had like his own team where he was more of a focal point, would be thought of as a higher prospect.
Yep. And then JoJo Tugler, man, undersized center, but very good defensively, energetic. Would be interesting to see his measurables, but I don't know. In a way, he reminds me of like a Robert Williams archetype, because Robert Williams is undersized but has really long arms, really good defensively, mobile, big. I think Tugler has a chance of really sticking in the league as somebody that can play some defense, switchable, athletic center that will be able to catch lobs, finish, that sort of thing. So finally put him on my big board. Cedric Coward, I think I talked about him in previous stream, just intriguing 6'6". Unfortunately, season got cut short by injury. But yeah, I talked about him last stream. Just somebody that is intriguing from the way he scores the ball, the types of plays he makes. Seraph, I don't get it. 6'6", but probably more like 6'4", maybe 6'5". Struggle shooting the 3 ball. Not athletic, like doesn't create much separation. Also doesn't scream like point guard to me, just screams like shooting guard that can make some plays but struggles to shoot, will struggle to play off the ball. Defensively, I see him getting taken advantage of at the next level. I've never understood the Seraph love, and every time I sit down and watch some tape on him, I'm just like, yeah, I still don't get it. So he's slipped on a lot of consensus boards, which is funny because, I talk about being ahead on players that I have highly on my board that then rise consensus-wise. It's kind of the opposite with Seraph. I've been low on him this entire time, and some people were saying he's the 4th best player in the draft, and now I'm seeing a lot of consensus boards have him late first where Eric has him. So, I just don't buy it. And then Pettiford, he's 6 foot and not really a point guard, but can really score the ball. So he's young. So can you teach him to be a point guard? Microwave score off the bench? I don't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You're 51 to 55.
All right. I have...
See a box.
What is happening? All right. 51. I have... Wait. Something's happening with my board. Hold on just a second. All right. 51, I have Rocco Zakarski. 52, I have Amari Williams. 53, Michael Ruzick. 54, Sion James. And 55, I have Solo Ball.
Solo Ball. I like that actually. I've been thinking of Solo Ball as a guy that could be a back end first round pick next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he'll come out this year.
Yeah, but no, I nice. Because I heard you pause. I'm like, he's gonna surprise me with someone. But Solo Ball, man. I mean, he's 6'3", defender, athletic, 42% 3-point shooter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 3 and D. Yep.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he's been really good this year for UConn. Barely played last year, but is the next Dan Hurley NBA draftee. I think he'll get drafted at some point. I think he probably returns and gets drafted next year, but he's probably somebody that, I haven't really thought about putting on my board, but I like him. So yeah, I'm with it. Sorry, I just stole your explanation of him.
No, that's all right. You haven't done your 51 through 55.
Oh, yeah. 51 through 55. I have Ian Jackson, 51. Tyrese Proctor, 52. Janai Broom, 53. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 54. Flory Badunga, 55. It's kind of a boring little tier for me.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to say about any of those guys.
That's all right.
Any other players on yours you want to talk about?
Um,
Is Aiton hurt or are they shutting him down? He's been hurt, so yeah,
yeah, not
they
really.
might
I
shut
mean,
him down.
who do they? Oh, Aiden.
Aiton, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's pretty much it. You said everything I wanted to say about
Cool,
solo ball. So.
cool. 56 I have Rocco Zakarski. 57 I have Kobe Brea. 58 I have Alex Tui. 59 I have Drake Powell. 60 I have Mark Sears. Who you got?
All right, 56. I have Bay and Dongo.
Who?
Fif- Bay and Dongo
Who
from
does he?
Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Um, 57. I have Joson Sanin. 58. Alex Caraban. 59. Kanan Catchings. 60. Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Nice. Yeah, tell me about Bay and Dongo because I know nothing.
As someone who I've been looking into lately, um, he's a guy who he's like 6'9". I don't know what he'll measure at, but
Yeah.
uh, average like 13 and 9 or something like that. Decent 3-point shooter for his size. Uh, averages like a block and a steal a game.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good defender. Yeah, just kind of intriguing at that size if he can continue to improve his shot and stuff like that.
Nice. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to look into him. I almost put somebody on my board that I don't think I've ever talked about.
Who's that?
I think St. Thomas is intriguing.
It's funny. That's what I put as someone else. That's what I put as solo ball.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. He struggles to shoot, so
Yeah.
that's why I don't have him in my top 60. But he's 6'7", average 4 assists per game, like 9 points, just connective piece that can pass. If he can shoot, then that's intriguing. It's just 30% from three. It was 33% last year. His career 80% from the line, but was 63% this year at USC. So, he played 2 years at Loyola Chicago. Didn't play much. Went to Northern Colorado, averaged 20, 10, and 4 last year, and then went to USC and averaged 9, 6, and 4.
Yeah.
But I just like wings that can pass and have some skill
Yeah.
if they could shoot. So like he's outside of the top 60, but could be like a two-way guy where if you can figure out how to develop his shot, could be someone,
Yeah.
I guess, like just worth a two-way shot on. Like there's a lot of guys that I'm like he'd be intriguing for a two-way spot, That's how we're getting to the point where it's like there's a lot of names that I don't have in my top 60 that I like for two-way shots. Zvonimir Visic,
Yeah.
Darian Williams, Kenan Catchings, Michael Ruzic, right? Starting to really Max Shulga. We'll get to see him in the tournament, which is good. Grunlow, I don't have. Hunter Salas, I don't have. Dink Pate,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys outside my top 60 that would be worth a two-way.
Did you happen to see Coleman Hawkins after they lost in the tournament?
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I actually
I actually felt bad, yeah.
I actually liked the passion. Like it made me think that, he does care a lot more than it seems like he has at times.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
think
so
that. Yeah.
so like even though like it's kind of cheesy to say like, the expectations or something got to him or whatever, but like I don't know, man. I still feel like the NBA is going to be. I know I say this sometimes about certain people, but like I still feel like and he kind of showed this at the combine and stuff last year, which is why I was surprised he didn't come out. Um, but like I feel like with his size and passing ability and creation ability, that he might be a little better in the NBA than he has been in college. So like,
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays at the combine.
but
It's
that's like a two-way guy that I would take.
yeah, a 6'10" forward who averaged 4 assists a game.
Mhm.
Was 37% from three last year, but only 30% this year. Like the three is the question, but you can see he's 79% for the free throw line, and then 58% this year. Like obviously, some of the pressure started to get to him with he's making the most NIL money or something like that. So, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of intriguing players worth a two-way shot.
Yeah.
So we better sign two of them and then have Sissoko on that third two-way. Chadco
Chet.
says, I didn't hear, but did you guys mention
Wow.
Bennett Sturtz?
Wow, Chad. Dang, man.
Eric has him first round. I have him mid-second.
I'm at 22, Chad.
Yeah, I have mid.
Thanks for paying attention.
Eric
Just
loves
kidding.
Eric loves Bennett Sturtz. I have him at 44. So Eric has him at 22. I have him at 44. I need to see how he looks against Missouri.
Mhm.
All right, that's our big boards. Whose picks do you like? Whose rankings do you like? Which players that we're high on, who do which one of those do you like? I'm definitely getting to the point where I have my guys, and Eric's getting to the point he has his guys. I think I think mine's a little bit more against consensus, which isn't always the case. But Neek Clifford is I'm a Neek Clifford fan now, so that's what we discovered today.
Nice.
I love like my movement pattern guys, just the way guys move, and then
Hmm.
skilled 6'6" forwards that can pass and do other things. I mean, he is like my type of prospect to a T. And like not underrating older prospects, right? Like he is my type of guy to a T.
Yeah.
And I was just watching Colorado State during that tournament run. I'm sitting there realizing like, yeah, this is my guy. This is my type of prospect. We
Mhm.
just had the conversation about who would be the Jalen Williams in this draft.
You you do remember that he measured at the combine last year, right?
Yeah, what did he measure?
6'5" barefoot,
Yeah.
6'8" wingspan,
I mean, that's big enough to be a wing.
8'6" standing reach.
Yeah, that's big enough to play the 2 or the 3.
Yeah.
Like he's a little undersized at the 3, but I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So, what was Jalen Williams? Let me look it up. I think Jalen Williams had super long wingspan.
And now he's on HGH.
Yeah, Jalen Williams was 6'4.5" barefoot, but 7'2" wingspan, 8'9.5" standing reach.
Yeah. That's quite a bit bigger.
Yeah, yeah,
Not that Nick could be a good player. That's not what I was saying.
yeah. No, for sure. I think at least Neek will be a phenomenal role player. So I think he's just high floor, sneaky ceiling for me. Um, I could see the Blazers. I don't know. I could see the Blazers taking somebody like that.
Yeah.
You need some shooting, but you still want to stay true to your identity, right? And your timeline is now accelerated because of this successful season. I mean, you just beat the Wizards and the Raptors, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I'm a fan of him, and then I moved up. I'm a Condon fan. I'm a Magoon Gwath fan. I'm a Sion James fan.
Nice.
And yeah, we'll see how they pan out. But yeah, I moved Con Knipple. I'm a Knipple fan now. All those jokes
Yeah.
about us getting Con Knipple, we might not be able to get him.
Now you're gonna be sad when he goes like two
Yeah,
picks before
yeah,
us. Yeah.
yeah.
We did too good for Knipple.
I know. Yeah,
We got no Riz for Knipple.
we're gonna get to see Ace Newell against Gonzaga, man, in the tournament. So hopefully, they can shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I don't become an Ace Newell hater. But yeah, anything else for the stream, Eric?
No, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you all. Hope you have a good evening, and we'll catch you Wednesday after the Blazers play the Grizzlies,
Yep.
a real team.
Yeah.
If Jaw plays.
Not counting the intro, we managed to keep a big board stream under 2 hours, so that's a win. If you want in our $20 bracket pool, $20 buy-in, let us know. Let me know. Message me on Twitter. Message me on Discord. Tweet at me. I don't care how you let me know. Just let me know in a way that I'll see it, and I will send you the invite link and the buy-in link.
If you want to beat Tori, have Gonzaga winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, I'd let anyone win if my Bulldogs won a championship, absolutely. So, yeah, let me know. It's a bracket pool that rewards upset picks too, so it's a little bit more fun in my opinion. Anyway, shout out BetUS. Appreciate them. Make sure you follow our social media platforms down in the description box below. Be the person that actually listens to me when I say go follow everything in the description. You can be that person. We like those people that click on the links in the descriptions, that follows us on TikTok, follows us on Instagram, leaves likes when they leave the stream. We appreciate all that. Appreciate you guys. We're out of here. Shout out to the Blazers. They beat the Wizards by 15 points. Blowout win. Covered a 6-point spread. They were the favorites, and they proved why tonight as they get their 30th win on the season. We'll have the post game on Wednesday. We will see you then. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.